I want to take a note that came from a meeting the other day, and it's regarding empathy and compassion, right? Because they're so interrelated. And this is so clear now for me, like never before, because I'm seeing a pattern. This issue that has been kind of circulating, I feel the pattern is more prevalent in not just sensitives or natural empaths, but people who have really done the self work. They have, I'm going to say mastered, okay, but mastered has a variance, a spectrum, but they got really good at introspection. They got really good at psychotherapy, whether they're going to therapy or they're doing the therapy within themselves. They got super good at that. The issue that I'm seeing when you are that good, even if you're not able to catch yourself in the moment and you're still working on this, I'm trying to respond, not just react. Even if it's not in the moment, it's not long after the actual moment, the actual conversation, that you're able to step back and say, okay, this is how I behaved. Why did I why did I respond like that? Why did I react like that? What I could have done better? Why is this showing up the way it's showing up? Okay, I understand. When the ego is being watched so closely, right? Because they also mastered this observer effect. They can stand back and observe themselves from way more neutrality. But that puts the ego on constant surveillance. It knows that it's being watched, right? When it comes to this empathic side of us, that side, I feel, coupled with this constant observing of yourself, it shoved the ego into corners, very deep into the subconscious. So even though you're really good at introspection, this part of what I'm talking about next, this is just the introduction, is very difficult to catch, even for somebody that's masterful at it, right? But the other thing that happens when the ego is now cornered, it becomes focused, compressed, dense. And when the ego is in that state, it has subtle defense mechanisms because it got really smart, right? It got very good. So it doesn't show up as typical defenses. It doesn't show up as things you already know. Do you know what it shows up as? Empathy. Or I should say compassion, because I learned, I had to come back and look up all the definitions. The definition of compassion is empathy with the next sequence, the desire to help. And in the state, when empathy got triggered, this next desire to extend help is actually a defense mechanism of this ego that was cornered, that is shielding this very sensitive part of you that is not safe at the moment to express. So hear me out. I know it's a lot. What happens when we're triggered? And we're triggered with empathy, right? And we've all had life happen to us. So there's a wide range of experiences And when we come into contact with a story, another person, the actual victim that has experienced, unfairness, betrayal, trauma with small t, capital T, all those things. And those threads, the resonance of their story matches one of our threads, empathy gets triggered. But it's not safe. You're wherever, you're communicating, you're in a public space, you're however. It's not safe for the body, and you didn't train the body anymore to go into those emotions that have been suppressed or not given the time, and not just time, the actual presence, the curiosity of, you can be seen as you are. I can meet you without me expecting anything from you, without condition, where, like, why are you feeling this way? Why are you not feeling the other way? Okay, now that you're feeling this way, does that mean that you're going to feel like this next? None of that. So, because we cannot do that when empathy gets triggered, we reach out trying to be compassionate. When we reach out, I kind of define it as this subconscious reach of presence. It's not actual presence, so it might not be the right word, but it feels like presence. I am extending how I feel, and I'm offering that understanding to you, poor victim. But I'm not going to stop there, because when that channel opens, because the defense is up and we can't feel our own personal feeling, we're kind of projecting back and forth in this other story. And we're thinking we know what it is that we're feeling. We're actually starting to leak out energy. So empathy creates leakage through this presence extension. Not true presence, okay. But in order for us, many times, it's not 100% all the time, to stop that leakage then, because we start to feel drained, we start to feel blah, we are, through our offering of the help, offering the suggestion, the advice, the revenge, the pity party. Oh my God, poor you. I can't believe you have to go after him, that person and that person. This is unacceptable. I can't believe this is all happening to you, blah, blah, blah. We're actually then siphoning energy from the other person to make up for the leakage that just happened from the empathy trigger within us. Does that make sense? So empathy, I Googled this up as well, and it's really interesting because just the first definition from Google that came up was the ability to share in another's emotion. I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly the problem. We're literally sharing the emotion. And then I decided that that's distortion, that cannot be the actual definition of empathy. So I kept searching, and Cambridge had a different definition: the ability to imagine somebody else's situation, or I forget exactly. I wrote a blog, so if you want to read all these definitions, I would say read that blog. I just wanted to drop a note here too. But that's a totally different thing, right? Because now empathy becomes relational. I can relate to you, and I don't have to completely share in this field that creates a whole leakage, a whole thing in me. I am drained. And if I stay in that drainage, then I'm exhausted. I'm leaking. I'm leaking my own essence down. And usually it's just not one thread. It's one thread over here. It's one thread over there. It's one thread, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, how are all these empaths introverts? I don't think they are introverts. They have to be introverts. I do not leak out. And if you are also compassionate, right? You're then fully extending and you're helping and you're siphoning that energy back into from the victim who's already victimized, like for real. And you're filling yourself back up and you're not leaking then. You're not feeling exhausted because you literally took from somebody else as a very subconscious self-defense. And I'm saying that, notice your body. If this resonates with you, take a deep breath, because we don't want to corner the ego further. We actually need to soften the body as we sit with this information and allow some of that stuff, these frequencies, not words, to land on the skin. And in whichever way they land, right? Because they're not exact words. We're mixing here proper definitions with distorted definitions, and they're both true, right? And we don't want to create judgment. It's within that judgment that then the ego flares up, and this fake compassion. And it's harsh, okay? Like I don't want to say fake compassion, because we truly want to help. And here's the other thing that I'm observing: when I don't show up as that, oh my God, I'm so sorry, playing into the victim of, and that's not, I'm so sorry is not in it, but when you're playing into the poor you, how do I help for you to celebrate your victimhood further? When I don't do that, to some people, it registers as, wow, you have no empathy. You are so cold. You are so distant. Do you even understand what I'm talking to? You obviously don't even understand what I'm talking about. And it's like, no, I understand, but this is my gift to you, is that I'm, despite this event that happened to you, I'm holding you in non-victim eyesight, observance, witness. I'm witnessing you as the empowered person that I know you are. These are the bridges that we have to get better at, right? When we get triggered and we understand, okay, this is my own thing. Can I give myself space to feel my own emotion now that this person brought that out of me? I'm just giving myself 2 breaths here to be with my own body. And I create a bridge that doesn't necessarily create this full connection into Ooh, I love this. I'm creating the imaginal. It's an imaginal bridge that we can both come onto and explore this happening, this experience that unfolded. But we don't have to share exactly into that emotion. And I can meet you there. And you can feel that I see you. I'm truly meeting you there. But it is clear that I'm my own, right? I'm okay to be my own individual and not break my individuality. And by me not leaking, I'm not also removing anything from you. And more so, maybe my holding of my own resonance and my own softness will help entrain the victim into a more empowered state. So I think it would be really amazing exercises, right? And I've been exercising this. I just didn't realize that this is what I've been doing, right? Like with this post, I'm finding myself, or when I feel people have not come into full clarity, or whatever full clarity is, right? But I don't have to interject. If my clarity is, let's just say, more expansive than the clarity that they arrived into, I don't have to put my 2 cents. Yes, but this is what follows next. This is more of that clarity. I can celebrate the clarity that they have arrived, because obviously that is the capacity that they had to arrive at that state. And it's a different connection. It's a different relatedness using the actual definitions, the actual non-deformed state of this empathy and compassion. And we're learning to do that through these bridges, through these softness within us, where we're not losing ourselves in it. And it's hard. It takes a lot of presence. So yeah, I guess it's a shift from that introspective, more mind state, self-help. And I think that's why I am getting this resistance to this. I'm getting angry at self-help things, because now we're moving into more presence of the body. We're not abandoning the body anymore. We're loving our whole self more, and we're dropping this judgment where it's like, yes, 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 I'm not perfect. And I'm okay with being imperfect as long as I'm more present within me. And that is a new kind of beauty, let's just say. It is, yeah. So anyway, I hope this helped.